Hi there, I'm Akshaya from Hasura, and I've been looking at what the autocomplete experience or the editor experience should look like for Hasura DDN tooling. So Hasura DDN is based around declaratively defined YAML, which defines our resource objects. All right, so let's dive in. Where I like to start whenever I begin to look at what some experience should look like is look at what that experience does look like in current tooling. So here's what the Docker Compose experience looks like. So here's a Docker Compose file that I have, and let's say I'm looking for options to add over here, and hit Control Space, and it gives me the completions. And there are multiple completions for every key, but these are all the keys that I can have. Let's try them out. A short form, okay. So there's a placeholder value that's already been selected, and I can type to replace that. Cool. What about the I hit Control Space again, and it brings up the documentation. Another additional small pop-up for the documentation. That's interesting. So let me hit build, and then I can type something, and I hit tab, and then I type something again. And cool. So that's nice. All right. So what happens if I autocomplete services on the root? It does not prefill any subkeys. Okay. Let's see if I can find any other. Uh, right. So another additional control space will bring up that pop up with what it's going to fill out. Okay. Let's try the list form of command. So it's pre-filled this template, and I'm gonna autocomplete that. Cool. So that's the Docker Compose autocomplete. Next, let's look at TypeScript. So with TypeScript, hitting Control Space gives me several different options, and there are different types of the autocomplete. What I perhaps like in the backends. So here is a snippet, and here is some semantic stuff which it's found in the other files. So let's try this, and that just completes the word because it knows it's a keyword. Let's try this. It's a function statement, it says, and now it's autocomplete some stuff. Okay, all right, let's try this, and it's already templated out the arguments so that I can type something, tab between them, and fill that out. Cool. All right. Let me go ahead and look at some snippet videos that I found. So here's a snippet where there's a large structure that's put in place, and the user gets to tab between the templated bits and fill it out. Here's a snippet generator, and then you can sort of use this snippet in VS Code's built-in snippets feature. So that's cool. Let's check another one out. Okay, so let's pause here for a moment. So there's this keyword completion, and there are snippets, and then there's semantic stuff. And all of that's available in one dropdown, and they're distinguished by these icons. So let's look at. All right, so here's the built-in snippets being referenced again. Cool. So based on this and sort of notes that I've put together, I think there's 3 different kind of snippets that we need to be looking at. The first one is just the plain old examples, which pre-fill common examples into the editor. The second one is what I call structural autocomplete. And that's basically what happens when I complete something in my Docker compose.yaml. It gives me different options. It gives me all the different options for what different keys can look like. And when I select one of them, it fills that out for me with templated bits for the values. So the difference, I think, is the snippet autocomplete would autocomplete some different common use cases that are complete examples of each object. But the structural autocomplete is concerned with what the syntax should look like at that point and completely enumerates all possible options for the syntax at that point. And then we have semantic autocompletion. That's basically looking at what are the values that I should provide at a point in the header. For example, over here, I expect to be the object expects a name of a model, and so the autocomplete experience has shown me only model names from the current subgraph that I can fill in. So that's cool. Okay, all right. Let's look at let me just get my notes, the snippets. All right. Structural autocompletion, inline semantic autocompletion. So we looked at that. So all of these should be combined, which is to say, if I hit command control space at any point, it should show me all the different autocompletions from all the different backends that are applicable at that point. One place where the internet experience is going to have a large impact for the Hasura tooling is permissions. So permissions, basically a model permission can look like this, and over here under the filter key we can type out a whole expression that basically filters the model carts that the role admin is allowed to see, and this filter can actually leverage the entire graph from the carts model. So let's see if we can find some examples of that. All right, so here's an example. So we can see that there's a field comparison, and then the field comparison already has a structure to it, which is field operator value. So this bit would sort of be a structural autocomplete, and there are these operators, and the operators can only be either equals or greater than. So this is a list that needs to be enumerated. All right. Okay. So let me also look at what the V2 console looks like for the permissions experience, because people like this a lot. And the cool thing over here is there's a drop down, and the drop down only shows me stuff that I can select. And let's say I select and you can see it's already added this square bracket and this these braces to show the structure, which basically is an array of conditions. Or for example, a more complicated example of the structure is exists, where it shows me the structure of what that operator can look like. And over here we're sort of clicking through drop downs and moving around. But this entire experience can actually be replicated in the editor. And for me personally, the ergonomics of working with the autocomplete experience in an editor seem better. So all right, so basically we can achieve, so this becomes the autocomplete dropdown in the editor that only shows the available options, and once we select an option, it does a structural autocomplete, um, where all these keys, this entire structure is already laid out for us, and these value bits are templated out, so we can then tap to them and begin filling them or using autocomplete again at that point to complete the permission. Um, Also true for relationships. There are several different relationships that we can have between different kinds of things in the supergraph. So some examples over there would be cool, snippet examples, but also structural autocomplete would go a long way there. I'm going to look at some existing builds of the autocompletion tooling, which is a work in progress today, and see what it does and how we can improve that. So here's an old build, but I'd like to start here because I remember liking some bits of it that seem to have been removed from newer builds, but I want to call them out. So here, if I say kind relationship, it shows me several different versions of this that I can autocomplete. This is a super cool idea. I did not know that I could hit control space again to bring up this little pop-up, but that notwithstanding, it would be super cool to have a description of what each of these snippets do right here in this list, so I can more easily select the one I want. Here's a selection, and then I can go to the end and say new YAML object. Typing these hyphens always seems kind of tedious to me. I would really like there to be a way to simplify that, though I'm not sure what that would look like yet. So here's another kind of thing we can autocomplete. So this is cool. This is a good thing. I like that we have different examples that the user can use and then fill in instead of, for example, what I do with doccompose, where every time I type a new doccompose file, I open one of my old projects and then copy paste bits out of it. All right, so let me now switch to a later build. And get one of these relationships going. So this seems to be a snippet. It's auto-completed all these fields for me, and the cool thing is I can tab between them, so that's good. Let me look at what autocomplete gives me at each of these locations. So a name is just a string. These look like token-based autocompletes, but there's no good way to autocomplete anything here, so I don't think there should be any suggestions there. For source, this seems to be the name of an object type, which it does beautifully. Let me try without the space. All right, so there needs to be a space there to trigger the autocomplete. Let me check out if our docker compose.yaml has a similar limitation. So let's say I type in ports and hit control space here. So that seems to be token based. What if I hit space and hit? That's again token based. What if I hit command and colon and hit control space? So here are some tokens. So it seems this is common behavior. So where a string is expected, it pops up some tokens. All right. So if I do this and hit and I select string form, it does that. So let me try that over here. Name, control space. Okay, it needs to tell me that a name is a key over here. That doesn't seem to be working. Let me go back and to a valid metadata object and see if the intermediate state is what's causing it. No, that's not right. So let me keep that and move on to source. This works, but if there's a space missing, it does not work. So that's needs to be remedied. But let's select carts and move on. Target over here says no suggestions. So let's say I do command in a list form, build in a long form, and I hit the control space over here. It seems to do complete tokens, which is strange. Let me go back over here and say, can I find the model? Nope, it doesn't allow me to autocomplete that. But if I over here say context, it finds the key for me. So that needs to be improved. Let me get the name of the model going. Autocomplete works beautifully again. And the relationship type, array object, yes, that works. Okay, so this space is a thing that we can fix. What if I remove model and then hit command space over here? Okay, it says argument and relationship. What's argument? Nope. What's relationship here? Huh. It's auto-completed a bunch of stuff. Over here, for example, if I hit command space, it gives me labels. Okay, I think these are all stuff related to the build. Yeah. So that is something that definitely needs to be improved. In fact, I do believe that this target is actually the autocomplete over here. So I think there's some sort of mix-up where it's finding autocomplete targets based on the key name instead of the whole path. But let me continue over here and fill this out. Okay. Okay, so it knew something called target exists there, or did it? So there's no way for me to recover that target. Over here. Okay. So early days yet, but I think the autocomplete based on finding a set of values from other metadata objects works well, but the structural bit needs some more work. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes. The multiple snippets. Yeah, I think showing invalid completions is a lot more confusing than not showing valid ones, because this just doesn't work. And now the system has given me a completion that's actually invalid. Okay, all right. So I guess to summarize, I think I would like some better fundamental knowledge on whether this is the right way of looking at autocomplete, whether the snippets, yes, and then the structural and inline semantic autocompletion. These look like different things to me. And then sort of, so these three would be the areas of work. And then we could sort of begin to build experiences for permissions, building and relationships in the editor once we have these elements in place. And all right, so that's what we're looking at building out. Let me know what you think and what other features you'd like to see in the editor. All right.